Come explore the town of Como with us.
Good morning from Lake Como, Italy. This is the view from our hotel room. There's the lake right there. And the mountains in the distance, which surround all of Lake Como. Going that way is some shopping, some more restaurants. And then if you go all the way around and keep walking around the lake, there's even more restaurants and things to see. It's just beautiful. People here just relax. They sit around the lake and they just enjoy the sunsets and the sunrises. We're getting ready to do a walking tour and also a boat ride on Lake Como this afternoon. So we're really looking forward to that. And those were both included in our tour with Avalon. Doing some construction over here. Beautiful, convenient area for touring Lake Como. More to come.
Hey cruisers, this is Michelle with My Traveling Owl. If you are here, it is because you are interested in a river cruise. We are glad you are here. In this series, we are traveling with Avalon Waterways. For reference, this tour is entitled The Romantic Rhine, and we start with a 3-night stay in Lake Como, followed by a 1-night stay in Lucerne, which includes a visit to Mount Pilatus on board the famous cog railway. Follow along as we take this beautiful northbound journey through the best parts of Europe. Included with our hotel stay in Lake Como was a breakfast, and this was great for many reasons. One was we didn't have to go out of our way to get a breakfast, and two, it was fantastic. It had a little bit of everything, including these gluten-free options for us.
Yum, so good.
On top of this great breakfast, look at that view. There it is, Lake Como. So this morning we get to partake in our first included tour of Lake Como. And this one is a walking tour of Como City. And it is guided. And as you can see in these pictures, we have these little boxes and earphones. With that, that means our guide is going to be talking into the system, and then we get to hear it, so we don't have to completely stay close to her to hear everything she has to say. This is something that you will see in a lot of guided tours, and it is essential. And we really enjoyed the experience that it added. And here is our first view of the cathedral. The architecture of this cathedral is truly amazing. You can just stand here and gaze for a very long time, checking out every detail of what they did in a period of time that they did not have the mechanisms to do this. It's amazing. Truly amazing. So our guide took us over to the side door of the cathedral, and what she is pointing at is, I believe it was a little frog, and that frog was the level at which Lake Como flooded years ago. This tour lasted about 1 hour, and what it did for us is it gave us a great introduction to the town, because after this we were able to completely enjoy the town for the 3 days on our own. So the tour took us down this street. This street dated back to medieval times, so this really is one of the oldest places in Lake Como to see, and it is worth seeing. We actually came back here a couple times to walk through this area. It was absolutely gorgeous at night, the way it was lit up and how the streets glistened.
Tour is now over, and now we're off to explore on our own.
Next up, we took a tour on the Funicular. This was not included in our Avalon package, but it's very inexpensive, and it is a great way to see Lake Como from above. This is an incline railway. They will pull us basically up this incline and drop us off at the top, and then we get to take that from the top all the way back down to the bottom when we're finished. It was, I think, maybe around $15 for the two of us, so like I said, very inexpensive and a great way to see a different vantage point of Lake Como, which you will see shortly. And there's our first glimpse of what Lake Como looks like from above. This is what the incline train looks like from the outside, and it is getting ready to descend back down to the city of Como.
If you head up this hill, it will take you into the town of Brunate, but you want to actually head the opposite direction and head down the hill to get better views. Keep heading down.
If you look closely on this picture in the distance, there's a mountain chain, and those are the Alps.
I told you it was worth it.
We can honestly say this was time well spent coming up the Funicular to see the top of Lake Como. The views up here were breathtaking. It was very lush feeling, and you really felt what it was like to be in Italy with the cobblestone, again, the lush trees, the architecture. It really gave you the impression of what you think Italy was going to be like. And here we are descending back down into the city of Como. Well, it is lunchtime, and we happened upon this cute little tiny restaurant, and let me just tell you, you're about to see the best gluten-free pizza in Como. Probably anywhere. You wouldn't even believe that this was actually a gluten-free pizza. It was so good, we actually questioned it a couple times, but we didn't get sick and we actually came back for a second meal. It was that good.
On our way back to the hotel to meet up for our afternoon excursion, we decided to stop by the cathedral again to check out the little frog. This little frog that looks like a little chicken, it marks the high spot of the flooding in Lake Como. You can see how dark this area is. This is from everybody trying to touch the frog.
Next up is our second included tour of the day, and this is going to be a round trip boat ride from Como to Bellagio. It lasted about 3 hours and 45 minutes, and that included the tour on the boat to and from, and a little bit of time to walk around and see what Bellagio was about. On our boat ride, they took us around and showed us some points of interest along with some of the stars that live in the area. One of them we will be showing you a little bit closer up to, and if you've ever heard of George Clooney, yeah, he has a house here, but I'm sure you already know that. A boat ride on Lake Como was at the top of our list of things to do here, and we were so surprised and happy when we found out that this was actually included in our tour with Avalon. I should add, this was a very pleasant boat experience. It wasn't rough. Nobody got sick, so if this is something you worry about, you probably don't need to really worry about it. Obviously, you'd want to check the levels of the water and how they are in the morning before you start, but I would highly recommend doing this tour. And as I mentioned earlier, right there in the center of your screen is George Clooney's house.
This boat ride was definitely one of my favorite parts of this trip.
So we came up to this point in our tour, and our guide told us to look over to this area where this bridge was. This guy was not supposed to be there. Actually, it is very illegal for people to do, but this is an Instagram spot. People go here specifically to film for Instagram. I can't remember exactly what the significance was of this property, but it was just beautiful the way it sat on the edge and the landscaping around it. And here we are pulling up to Bellagio. Once in Bellagio, we were given the opportunity to spend some time walking around the town on our own, and we got to go into some shops, see the churches, and we did grab a bite to eat before we got back on board. This is a great place to pick up some silk goods. A lot of scarves were purchased on this stop. This is a very unique town, and you can see that the walking paths are a lot of stone. So if this is something that you don't think you can handle, this may be a spot to skip. But you could probably stay out on the main areas and not go up and down the steps. We had a few minutes left over while we were in Bellagio, so we stopped to get a cup of tea and this delicious gluten-free dessert. And it was a cheesecake with berries on top. It was so good. Well, the sun is setting and it is time to get back on the boat to head back to Como. road being built for the 2026 Olympics in Milan. Funny thing though, they don't expect it to be completed in time, but they get a road out of it.
That trail of lights on the upper left-hand corner is the area that the funicular goes up the hill.
You need to see Como from the water. Coming back at night, it just glistened and it just gave a different perspective of the area. So morning, noon, or night, this town is gorgeous. Well, the sun is set and it's time for dinner, so we went to the Funicular restaurant, or ristorante, as they say. Again, we're gluten-free, so we were looking for a few little options, and we also have a seafood allergy, so we got some pasta and a side of french fries because we just wanted some. And then check this out. This was a type of creme brulee, on fire of course, and we enjoyed the experience as well. Did we just spot a doodle? Look how cute he is. So after dinner, we decided to take a walk through the town and see what it looked like at night. And again, it is a totally different perspective. You can hear the music in the background. It was just a great experience.
Alessandro Volta was born in Como in 1745, and he created the battery. We wrapped up the evening with a walk back to the cathedral. This area here shows where the original church was built at ground level and how much they have raised the ground around the church. Here's a brief glimpse of what's to come in this series.
Thanks for watching. Click subscribe below for more content and to help us grow our channel. Ready for more? Click one of the two videos to your right. Ready to book your next trip? Message me at michelle@mytravelingowl.com or visit my website at mytravelingowl.com. I'm a certified travel advisor with the Travel Institute and an elite cruise counselor with CLIA, the Cruise Line International Association of America.